Today we're going to turn this fairly average looking Nerf Laser Ops gun into this. A MIB WIB Laser Blaster. It has sound. It has lights. It has vibration. It has it all. Interested? Here we go. I've been wanting to make a Men in Black blaster for a long time. And with the new movie, Men in Black International, I figured now is that time. And lucky for me, I found a Nerf gun that looks a lot like a Men in Black blaster. And here it is. And it has sounds and lights. That gives you the typical blue Men in Black. Listen to this. Just had to do that again. Here's the back. You see all the holes where the screws are. Now that I have the blaster, I got to figure out what parts I'm going to make black, but it's predominantly a very shiny silver. A shiny silver is very challenging because you can't just use any paint. I think I want to leave the black intact. So this handle here, this gun butt, and this extension, and maybe this, I'm going to leave black. I haven't decided whether or not I'm going to leave this blue in there, and then the rest I'm going to paint silver, with the exception of the lighting. Here's the speaker. So let's take it apart and see what we got, and then figure out where we're going to go from here. Trying to find the right screwdriver is always interesting. Hopefully these handles come off. It's real easy to lose these screws, so I've got the magnet cup, and I'm going to put them all in there so I know right where they are. And the Nerf gun screws, they really fight you to the very end. If they have one little screw thread on there, it's not going to work. Just like right now. Alright, there you go. So I'm going to put those two in there. So I'm thinking anything white and orange, I'm definitely going to paint silver. Okay, let's take this off. And I have to be careful of the insides. I don't want to damage the speaker. I don't want to damage any of the works inside. I'm going to leave this black. So I'm just going to set that off to the side. This pops off, but you need to take this off before you can get to this white piece. I think this black piece here is going to be the same. This black piece here, I don't think I need to take apart. And I have noticed that sometimes the screws are different lengths. Ah, yes. It's all separate. Beautiful. Because then it'll be just nice and clean paint lines. I won't have to mask anything, which can be a real pain. I'm going to break this down a little bit more, then I'll show you what it looks like on the inside. Alright, here's something a little interesting. This is a motor with a little weight in it, so that when you watch what this does. I'm not really sure what it does. It's not moving much. It has a little weight on there. It looks like it's trying to give some sort of vibration. Maybe that's when you get hit. That triggers off. Okay, I've undone all the screws, so let's see if I can pull this off. This white piece seems like it's all one piece. Don't fight me. Like I said, one little thread on one of the screws. These all seem to be loose. It's the easiest way to do it is just dump them over. See which screws come out, which don't. Fortunately, they're all the same size so far, which is good. So a little magnetic cup helps me out. Let's pull all these out, make sure you don't have anything stuck. More tapping. One screw comes out. Crikey. Okay, I think I got all the screws now. Let's see what happens. Something's getting hung up. Oh, don't hang up on me. Okay. Ah, yeah, it comes off in one piece. Awesome. Put that to the side. Now look at all these mechanics. Okay, so this piece comes off. Put that to the side. We're not even going to disassemble that. Okay, this motor can come out. There's all sorts of boards there. Light sensor. Oh, this is going to be fun. I noticed there's a couple more screws here that I have to take out. Okay, more pieces coming off. I noticed this is the front part of here that I was taking off. I'm going to put that off the side. There was also 2 smaller screws in this area, so I'm going to put that with the battery compartment that slides in here. I'll just show you just in case. There. And then that comes out. And I'm going to put this screw here, because I've learned from my past Nerf gun experience that if the screws are different, you got to keep them separate. So this piece has come off. I think I'm going to paint that all silver. I've got a screw here, or a spring I have to worry about. Maybe I'm going to keep that black, but I am going to paint this silver. Okay, I got this little lens in here. That will be interesting. I wonder if it's all glued in or how it's put in there. I'm not going to paint the blue. I think I've decided against that. Hopefully this will come apart. Try not to break it. Yeah, somehow this is all just plugged in, glued in. No, I hope not. It's going to be a pain. Okay, well I know this piece comes off. Maybe. Ugh. I'm going to take another break, figure this out, and I'll show you what the end result is. Okay, so we made some progress. We've taken off this clear area here. I'm trying to lift this off gingerly. I don't want to break any of the wires. They're small wires. And I'm just trying to lift this off, and I'm getting a little bit of tightness on it. Come on. So I have to see what's binding. Alright, well this piece slides off, maybe. No, it's connected to the circuit board. Come on. You gonna come off? There you go. Just have to wiggle a little bit, and I might have to look at some video on the way back up. Now you're not coming off again. Wonderful. Gotta be patient with these things. It all looks like one piece. That's the speaker system. Seems to be it's a pretty high friction area there. I don't want to break it off. Everything else seems to be cooperating. Yeah, it's coming all off. There's a little binding here. Alright, taking a break, I'll show you what happened. Try to point these out to you. This screw and this screw were connected to the white on the other side, and that's what it needed to be taken to remove the white part down here. The white piece is off. This piece I'm going to paint silver. So like the, I don't know what you call that, probably. And then there's a piece here. I'm going to just push that off and put it aside because I'm going to keep that black. Trying to get a mix, get some depth with the different pieces. Okay, so I don't like this. I want to sand that down, file that down, and I'm going to file it down on the other side and these little pieces here. I'm pretty happy with keeping this intact. I think I want to go further than that on this, but I'm going to probably sand that down. You want to leave this mechanism intact if possible. I was thinking about doing the trigger. I have to get this, and then I have to figure out how to get this one piece off of here. Troublemaker. I was able to get this piece off, which gave me access to the trigger, but I popped off the spring. Alright, so I'm going to paint that silver. With these Nerf builds, there always seems to be something that's just holding you back. And that was this piece right here. It was embedded here. You can see where I had to literally cut through. I tried a regular cutter. I had to go to a hacksaw variation. It's got a groove in there. I'll be able to fill that in, but so that way I was able to get that out because I didn't want to haul this whole electronics component piece with me when I went outside to spray it. These are all the pieces I've decided to paint. I'm going to use this Krylon Premium Metallic. Hopefully it's going to come out like this top. You notice I have a couple different colors going on here as far as the plastic. These are all going to be silver. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to prime it with some of this flat black paint. This is kind of expensive. It's about $10 or $11. I got it at Michael's at half off. So it's about $4 to $5, which is about what this runs. I think there's probably enough to cover all of these, maybe 1-2 coats. We'll find out. It's 48 hours later. I really wanted this to dry. I used some 320 and some 500 sandpaper to kind of take the rough spots down so that when I do the final coating, there's not going to be any bumps. Or I'm going to try to avoid those as much as possible. Make sure it's all dust free when you're done. I wanted to tell you about an experiment I did. I found this Krylon and it's running about $4 or $5 a can. You can see this one seems to have, well, it has 15 ounces and 8 ounces. This has almost twice as much. And I was hoping, because if you look at the shininess of the cap, that's some sort of indication of what the paint's going to be like, question mark. But here you go. This is a very nice mirror fine finish with this premium metallic right here. This is the finish you get from this one. It's kind of nice and shiny also, but it's more speckly, bigger particle kind of thing. And then I tried to take some rub and buff and hoping that that would shine it up, but it just kind of darkened it up a bit and really didn't affect the shine. So even with the rub and buff, even though I'm planning to use that on some of it, it's got a little dullerness to it. Now I'm hoping that the fact that I painted this all black will help bring out the shine, but we'll see. So I'm going to go through this and probably use this whole can to do all this spray work. I let this chrome metallic paint dry for a couple days because I really wanted to have it be solid and make sure that I maintain the shine when I put this back together. Here's the menagerie. It's just going to be challenging. I went through and I sanded this. This here is my biggest concern. It's the speaker. That's why I didn't paint it. I think I'm going to do some rub and buff on this right now before I put it all together. You take just enough, ever so slightly, and just rub it on there like this. And then buff it afterwards. This particular piece, I'm not so worried that it's going to be shiny. So this is like an old cotton sock, and I'm just going to shine it up. Now, assembly, the fun part. This is the back. This is pretty easy to do, so I want to do that first. I'm taking an old white t-shirt and laying that down so the paint does not get scuffed up. To build from the nice side up. First thing, if I recall, is I have to put this piece in here. Tape this off to make sure that the tracks were nice and smooth. If I got a little paint on there, it's not a big deal. Not any weathering on MIB guns because they all just look so perfect. I'll lay all this in here. Kind of try to remember where it all goes. This is the top piece that goes over here. Bingo. Now I know there's 2 screws here and I've kept them separate to screw down the panel. Take a pause and get a little more progress here before I show you the next step. I think all you're going to do is see my hand moving around. after much trial and error, I think I've got it pretty close to where it needs to be. Slide a couple components in here and there. I've noticed that this orange is actually showing in here, so I'm going to hit it with a silver marker. So I markered up the trigger, put it back in place. There's only one thing I'm questioning, and that's the slider on the other side. I got 50-50 chance of getting it right. And if not, I have to take it all apart. That looks about right. There's a little trigger switch here. Okay, I got a little bit of a stoppage there. I'm gonna have to work on that a little bit. It's not going straight over here. Now I'm gonna put this piece back on. It's just like an erector set, or Legos, whatever you want to say. They're pretty good at making it only one way. I guess it's because it's being hand assembled and you want to make sure that it only goes one way to keep down things not working. Oh yeah, that works a lot better. Yeah, that goes right down in there, except for it misses that completely. So it's the other way. So this is a bit of a precarious situation. I think this goes down in here like this. Alright, it fits in a little better than it was. All these little pieces, and then it's a massive amount of screws. Progress being made. On some of these parts, you can get some binding because part tolerance is so tight that when you paint something, sometimes it just will rub, I've found. So I'm actually trying to rub that in place, and I put some clay in there to weigh it down. Put this in place. You're going to put this thing in here. Putting the stock back on. Trying to put the stock back on. With the paint tolerances, you got to be very careful. You don't want to break the piece after all this work. Put this top on. Progress being made. I've put the handles back on. I really don't think you would have gotten this level of detail if you would have tried to tape this off. I think it just wouldn't have come out the same. Color these in, then put some rub and buff on there, make them a lot less obvious. Some rubber buff on a small paintbrush, and I'm going to just fill that all in and then shine it off. That blends right in a lot better than it was. Also touch up any places where maybe the paint got dinged. Rub and buff is good for that. See this little piece here? I'm going to take my magic sock and just shine it up. It's coming off. It's going to take a couple coatings of rub and buff. Kind of excited and kind of nervous at the same time. Here it is. We're going to fire it up and see if it works. Oh, that's a good sign. Blue's been in black. Yes, yes, yes! Thumbs up and comments, always appreciated. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more builds like this, props, all sorts of things coming soon.